Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm Pavs, an art-themed VTuber, and today we're going to be working on some fan art for a character called Beehunter from Arknights. I really like her design, and listen, I'm a very simple man, and I very obviously have a type when it comes to fictional characters, which is anybody who does martial arts. So this is kind of an obvious choice for a target for fan art. So let's just get right into it. We'll also be working with a new program today, not right off the bat. I'll explain kind of how we're going to be doing this in just a second, though. So let's hop on over to the work screen and I'll explain more there. Yeah? Alright. Okay, and then just shifting myself over to my little corner here. Okay, this is the E2 art for Beehunter. So let's just open up a new canvas, say 3000 by 3000 by 3000 is too tiny. 4000 by 4000 should do it. Okay, that'll do. Right, so the kind of main plan for this this kind of outing today is that we're gonna first do a small kind of bust. I think the art style is called chibi or something, but basically we're gonna do a small bust in CSP first, and then we're gonna do a version in a program called Shakeart, which is one that's available on itch.io. I'll probably like to do it after stream. It's a very interesting program because it makes like a very shaky art. Obviously that's in the title, so it should be kind of assumed, but it's got some interesting elements that I think would really look cool in some art pieces, especially for ones like this where it's just like the character but slightly tinier. So let me just figure out how to position everything. I've recently changed the layout a little bit so that some of the elements, such as the recent follow and the chat box, are just a tiny bit smaller, because I noticed that on game streams they do take up quite a bit of space. But besides that, it shouldn't be too different from what you guys are used to. You know, it's just like it's like space economy, right? Besides, like this, it feels like the rest of the screen is like a little golden spiral, right? Like I'm not gonna get into the golden spiral right now because otherwise we'll be here for quite a while. So let's get into it. Alright, so first again, we have the two basic art pieces from Arknights for Beehunter in here. First one is this one here, and second one is this one here, which is her kind of Ascension fan art. I don't know why I called it fan art. This is official art. I don't know why I'm like this. It happens sometimes, though. Alright, so again, the kind of idea is to have a almost kind of bust of her. So I don't think I might need a 3D model for this. I should probably turn on time-lapse setting. So yeah, we'll set it so that it starts recording the time-lapse. But yeah, the idea is to have kind of like I can probably sketch this out as well. That'll probably make it go by a little faster as well. Okay, so the idea is to. Feels like it's been a second since I've done proper art stuff, so now I feel a little oh dear. Hang on, I'm gonna need to open and close the program just real quick. Just give me a second. This happens sometimes. I think it happens especially when I use OBS to capture it. Basically, if I plug my tablet after I open my drawing program, sometimes it doesn't let me move the mouse, which is really weird. But I guess it's just a quirk of maybe the tablet I use or something. Apparently I've got my tablet on what's called mouse mode, because the mouse movement sensitivity without it is just way too low. So let's kind of get started on this. So let's... Okay, so... I'm trying to figure out what kind of pose I want right here. Because while my go-to would be to make a really cool kind of boxing pose, her whole backstory is kind of based around boxing, and I'll get into that more while I'm drawing. I feel like I've already covered that. I've already tread that ground with Flint with her fan art, so I don't know what I should do for this one. She seems like a very cheerful person though, so I kind of want to do something like that. Again, just kind of very cute, very kind of a... I don't know how to put it, like, yeah, just very round, very cute. I've noticed that I have a tendency to kind of, like, It's not exactly a bad thing, but I have a tendency to gravitate towards drawing guys, and moreover, I have a tendency to gravitate towards male or female. This is more of a general thing, to just draw them being real badasses. And while I'm very happy with that, I also want to expand my range a little bit. I think it's important to get practice in that regard. I think like having a face similar to the one she has here would also be good. So maybe just okay. Okay, I think I've gotten the idea. Yeah, okay, so I think like it's gonna be somewhat like this, basically. I actually really like her hairstyle too. So I'll get into some of the facts I have about Beehunter right now. So her name, Beehunter, her operator name, Beehunter is actually the literal translation of the name Beowulf. If that name sounds familiar, that's because it's also the name of a classical literature character, Beowulf, a dude who partied so hardy he almost died murdering multiple monsters. But his most famous act is murdering the giant. What's the giant's name? Grendel? No. I don't remember the giant's name actually. In the story of Beowulf, I remember reading a summary about it when I was very young. In like my what was it, 3rd grade, 4th grade English class, we had this really neat book that basically had a couple of, it was a very interesting book. Basically it had like some European stories. Hang on, I gotta put this like above these two so I can actually see what I'm doing. I'll also lower the opacity of these. Basically it had like a small, like a abridged version of like a classic English myth or European English, or I say English, I don't mean as in the nationality English, I mean as in the literature sense English. But basically they had a small summary of a couple of stories, and one of the ones that they had a summary for was actually the story of Beowulf. I don't remember literally anything from it though. I remember that you know, he was part of a big hall that liked to really party. And it took him like some convincing. I think like a couple dozen guys had to die. Hey Harvey, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Anyway, I think Beowulf, this is like very, very abridged. This is an abridgment of an abridgment retelling of Beowulf. In that Beowulf was a dude who really liked to party and ran a mead hall. He wasn't a bartender or anything, but he basically was the big boss of a mead hall, where a bunch of dudes who also liked to party and cut people's heads off lived. And during the night, their mead hall got visited by a giant. It might have been Grendel, actually. I don't remember the name of the giant, but it might have been Grendel. Grendel. It was Grendel? Okay, cool. Yeah, that's good to know. Anyway, they got visited by Grendel. Grendel murdered a few of the guys, not too many, but definitely definitely not in like the single digits amount. And Beowulf was like, shit happens, let's get back to partying. And so they did. But Grendel kept murdering dudes, and eventually Beowulf was forced to be like, okay, yeah, this is actually bringing the mood kind of down, so we might actually need to kick this guy's ass a little. So Beowulf, being a classical literature hero, grabbed the sword, went out to murder Grendel, and murdered Grendel. And then he also murdered Grendel's mom, because naturally, when your sweet baby giant boy gets murdered, you kind of want revenge on the bastard that did it. I'm painting Beowulf as the bad guy. Grendel did murder people as well. Like, I feel like my language is like painting Beowulf as like some frat bro asshole, but like no, Grendel very much did have it coming. But yeah, that's a basic retelling of the first part of Beowulf. I think there's a second part where Beowulf eventually does die, but I'm not really interested in all that. Anyway, Beehunter's name is a literal translation of Beowulf, and that's relevant because Beowulf's literal name is Beehunter, and that's like Beehunter is one interpretation of it. Grendel was absolutely evil, but Beowulf could have prevented most of his deaths. That is true. Yeah, you know, I feel like after the first time Grendel could have murdered some guys, I feel like Beowulf could have been like, was definitely strong enough to be like, hey bro, knock it off. You know, maybe box his ears a little, but you know, he just let him keep murdering people until it got too far out of hand. Anyway. What was I talking about? Right. So Beehunter's name is literal translation of Beowulf, and it's one interpretation of a literal translation of Beowulf. Well, that's not also correct. Okay, so Beowulf and Beehunter is the same term, in that Beowulf means wolf that chases bees, or bee-wolf. Like, the giant monster cannibal man was indeed a giant monster cannibal, but nobody was telling you to party next to his house. This is true as well. Like, in terms of, you know, like, it's, location is something that everybody who opens up a restaurant has to take into account. More so a bar, since, like, it tends to get louder and more crowded as well. So, you know, if it's right next to a residential apartment block, don't expect to be too popular with the tenants. Unless they also drink there, in which case, you know. Yeah, it's a complicated situation. Anyway, so Beehunter, Beowulf means bee-wolf. Put that tongue back in, girl, you're gonna lick a fly. I think it's cute. It reminds me a little bit of that one, like, face that some people do. I say that like it's a recognizable thing. Like I feel like this expression is almost like a Japanese media thing. But I think it's a more kind of general expression to indicate that the character is kind of mischievous. Or kind of a... I think, broadly speaking, it kind of indicates greed. And I think that might be because of, like, greed or, like, gluttony. And I think that might be because, like, you know, you're licking your lips, and that means you're about to eat something, or, like, you're hungry for something. Oh, she has brass knuckles. Yeah! Yeah, she's an underground boxer. She was for most of her life. Yeah, Beehunter's backstory is kind of interesting in that she, like, unlike a lot of Ursa's characters in Arknights, she doesn't actually remember much about, like, her life outside of prize fighting. She got into the underground boxing scene at a very young age, and, you know, that's kind of been her home ever since then. You know, even her kind of like token, the kind of thing that you get if you get multiple copies of her in the game, is a boxing trophy with a name worn out. I don't know what the implication of that is exactly, because we do know her real name. Like, her name is apparently Shura, and I don't know what it means if the boxing trophy it has the name worn out. Because on the one hand, it could imply that she's trying to hide her name if it had her name on it in the first place. Because if it's an underground boxing trophy, then it's also entirely possible that it just didn't have a name on it in the first place, you know? Like, I know that you can buy trophies for just about any sport at a pawn shop. So, for example, I imagine that, like, maybe the underground boxing guys just bought a trophy like that, and, decided, like, hey, we should probably, like, wear out the name and just give it to whoever's the winner this time, you know, in lieu of a belt. Yeah, I know that belts are usually reserved for, like, championship level matches. Like, if you're the champion of a league, you get the belt. That's how it goes. Okay. Anyway, the kind of way that we're going to be doing this today is that I'm going to first be making the art in CSP like this, because the thing about the program that I'm trying to use today, it's called Shakeart, and while it's a very versatile little program, it looks extremely powerful, especially considering that it's an indie project. It doesn't have, like, the same kind of layering techniques that you can get from CSP. I'm not very good at completely free-handing stuff, although it could be interesting if I do. I feel more comfortable making it in CSP first and then going for the Shakeart version. Yeah. The kind of, like, dyed part of her bangs looks like a little wing as well, which is interesting. I also don't want it to, like, touch the tongue, because that would be kind of gross. Okay, kind of like that. I don't want it to form a tangent with where her head would be, so I kind of gotta drag this out a little farther. But that risks making a tangent over here. But yeah, Beowulf, Beehunter. Some people actually theorize that Beowulf's name came from Beowulf, which means Thor's wolf, which, you know, if you ask me, is a much more threatening name than Beehunter. Or like Beowulf. To be fair, Beowulf was also kind of like a euphemism for bear, which is appropriate given that she's supposed to be bear-themed. Yeah, basically, old Nordic folks used to believe that if you said the word bear out loud, it would like summon one to your location. Like it'd give the bear your IP address. So, you know, they tried to avoid doing that. Which is why they came up with all sorts of euphemisms like honey eater or bee hunter, you know, as was previously discussed. Yeah. Apparently her like quote unquote real name, Shura, is also kind of a reference to her class in the game. Shura being a diminutive of Alexandra somehow. I'm sure it makes more sense in like Russian or something. But yeah, apparently Shura is a diminutive of Alexandra, and Alexandra means guard, and her class in-game is guard as well, which, you know, tracks. Yeah, something that surprised me a lot is that her kind of, there's like debates about like how good she actually is. I know on the game press wiki for Arknights, it basically says like, yeah, if you get her at when you're like in your early stages, don't really bother raising her because she's actually not really good at anything. Which, you know, is fair. She apparently her kind of whole gimmick is that she doesn't have particularly high attack, but her attack rate is absolutely superb. She just really just goes at it, punching whoever she's in front of. And because of that, she's good for like lots of low enemy, like lots of fodder enemies. You know, like you know, basically enemies with low defense. But it doesn't really handle enemies with high defense too good. So, you know, maybe spellcasters would be kind of, or the slugs would be her main target. Okay, so surprisingly, she's got painted nails. You don't really see that too often with these types of characters. I think it's cute though. Yeah, I think she has painted nails in her E2 art as well. Yeah, you can see that they've turned into like kind of like a slate color, but it's still very much there. Okay. And then there's going to be the kind of like weird muffler she has. This isn't actually a muffler. Her kind of it's a sweater, but at the same time it's very thin. Like I feel like this thin of a fabric would not be able to support itself like this. Although I don't know, maybe it's just very heavily starched or something. I've always wondered how you can make like very thin clothes stand up like this. I know a lot of it could be attributed to like artistic license and such, but it's always been kind of interesting to me how clothes work. Like, because I have to draw them sometimes, right? I like to wonder. It helps a lot to understand how a material behaves in real life, so that I can draw it. Because then, if I have to be like, okay, what would it do if it's in this angle, or if it has this kind of shading pointed at it? What does it do? Then I can figure that kind of thing out, and that helps me draw a better picture. I don't know much about clothing material, though, which is maybe something that I have to work on. Yeah, for example, plastic is reflective, but it's kind of like there's a difference between matte plastic and glossy plastic, for example. I really like the details on her hands. You can really see like each individual like tarsal, I think it's called. What, I don't remember what the individual finger bones are called, but it has like a really interesting name. Okay, wait. Okay, are these spiked? Okay, yes they are. They have 3. Okay, so they've got 3 spikes, and they're kind of spiky in between as well, which is interesting. But yeah, I really like her design. Like I said, in general, I'm kind of a sucker for any character who fights hand to hand. I'm a very my type is very, very obvious to anybody who knows me well. But yeah, her personality is also very interesting because it outright says that like her whole kind of lifestyle is just eat, sleep, repeat, which is admirable. It's like, I feel like somebody like that has a very good hand. Like, it's not so much that they don't. I don't know how to put it. Characters like that really appeal to me because I feel like my own life is very much filled with like very kind of limited distractions and other things like that. So when somebody's able to have like a very simple life or a life that's very free from distractions besides sleeping and eating, you know, even if you can't call that exactly like a hard-working life, I still think it's a simple life, and that's something that I really want to try and pursue someday. It's good when things aren't too complicated, basically. Well, maybe that's something I have to work on handling, though. I'm sure it doesn't come easy to anyone. But yeah, to give you a perspective of kind of like, again, something that really makes me kind of sad is that in game. Wait, did I say thicken or narrow? Oh wait, no, that's simplify. Okay, here we go. But yeah, something that makes me kind of a little sad is that in game, she's also kind of noted to be not particularly a strong unit. Like, it's one thing to be trashed by meta tier lists and such, because even then, like, the game could be like, oh yeah, she's not too bad. But even like the game says that, okay, yeah, basically since she's used to one-on-one fights in like very fair scenarios, she's not exactly suited for like a battlefield combat situation like Rhodes Islands usually gets into. So we can't really give her a very good appraisal. And so basically, even the game is like, yeah, no, she's not exactly the strongest unit you're gonna get. But still, like, I do have a soft spot for martial artist characters. Even like, I'm not too fond of like combat sports, surprisingly enough. I don't really follow MMA. I don't really follow anything maybe besides wrestling, and even then, it's just kind of passing knowledge of the sport. You know, like, I recognize some wrestlers, but it's not like I can recognize, like, MMA fighters regularly. Except Conor McGregor, but only because I use him as a body reference from time to time for some of my more fit characters. Okay. Hang on, I actually gotta compress this a little bit. There we go. So yeah, we have a spike in between the knuckles and in between the fingers, sorry. And actually both of these could technically be called spikes. I guess you could call it a rivet or something? But yeah, I don't really follow combat sports closely, which is why I'm also not too knowledgeable on, you know, kind of like the history of boxing. Although I do find it in a lot of like the boxing terms very interesting. I do think boxing is a very good sport and a good martial art, because the thing is, when you kind of restrict yourself to only being able to use your hands, like, this is something I've been thinking about, especially since lately I've been reading a boxing comic. When you're boxing, you have to restrict yourself to only using your hands for literally everything. If you want to block, you have to use your hands. You can't, like, you know, there's such a thing as a shoulder roll, but like, which is when you kind of lean your shoulder into the punch and basically make it slide off your shoulder. That's a technique, and it's a very common technique. But for example, if I wanted to do like an elbow reversal on somebody, like, stop their fist with my elbow and then punch them, I don't know if that's legal. I'm pretty sure it's not legal because you're technically using your elbows, which is, not against the rules. Yeah, boxing, for a sport that started out with dudes just beating the hell out of each other until maybe one of them died, has some very strict rules. And it's better that way. Yeah. I don't know, because, like, I feel like you're obviously more likely to get serious damage if you're a boxer, but if you're I feel like if you compare boxing to, say, like, professional football, boxers are less likely to come away with like, I don't know. I need to get some statistics on the horn before I make any sweeping statements. The thing is, as well, because this is a more simplified style, it feels weird to make Knuckles like this detailed. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy and paste this layer, just in case, and then I'm going to try and make them much more simplified. It's okay if they don't exactly follow the character's actual design. This is just kind of like a simplified version. Although... Something about these fingers bothers me. I can't explain what exactly it is, but it bothers me. Well, I'm sure I'll figure it out, or I won't, right? I think the next week I'm going to try and do some art studies. It's been a while, and I think I could really benefit from some right now. I can't add too much detail. Again, I'm not accustomed to making chibi art. If you can call this chibi art, I think you can, but yeah, I'm not really too accustomed to this kind of softer, rounder art style. I draw my characters like bricks. Really well made bricks, but like, you know what I mean. Like they're not like soft looking. They look a little bit like they're made out of elbows. Tiny girl with brutal weapon is one of my favorite genre of girls. Oh, 100%. Yeah, I that's definitely good taste right there. Yeah, I often, like, before I kind of understood the fact that they were like 100% illegal, I often wondered why more protagonists didn't use things like brass knuckles. I thought they were a really good image, and since most characters just fight with their fists anyways, it felt like it would be really fitting. I have extremely good taste in everything. This is true. Alright, but yeah, before I knew they were like 100% illegal literally everywhere, I still can't explain why. I guess it's because they're just very easily concealed weapons. But anyway, before I knew that brass knuckles were like really illegal, I was like, why don't more heroes use them? A lot of shonen heroes just use their bare hands, and it makes sense since it's a weapon that enhances your natural punching ability. And then I was like, oh, they're associated with gangsters. I see. It took me a while to kind of like make that connection. Yeah. It's really incredible how we've kind of come to associate certain weapons with certain kind of moralities, right? Like, if you meet a character who uses brass knuckles, first of all, you can tell, like, oh yeah, they're like a martial artist. But second of all, you're like, oh, they're like a shady person because they have they're using like illegal weapons. Yeah. Absolutely mental that you can get busted for carrying a pair of brass knuckles, but like people can open carry guns in some states. Well, I don't live in America to begin with, so yeah. Or just to make it fair, maybe you shouldn't be able to carry any weapons in public. That's the norm for most countries, so yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a little bit of a maybe it's just a little bit of a nitpick, but that's how I feel about it. I feel like there is some strange irony in that. Okay. We're gonna have to make this part uneven. Brass knuckles are illegal, but shivs and pistols are fine. You can carry around shivs? What the hell? Yeah. I don't know. I used to follow a lot of like DIY weapon making channels as a kid. Characters like these make me want to download Arknights, but I know better. I will resist the cute girls. Good call, my brother. Yeah, stay strong. Arknights, broadly speaking, is better than most gacha in a lot of senses, but it's still, at the end of the day, like a thing that's designed to give you a little bit of a gambling addiction. It's not good. Yeah. The story also went over my head a lot of the time. Basically, I also just played it for the cute girls. And some of the cute guys, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the guys in Arknights are also really good. No matter how much I want Beehunter to punch me. Down, boy. Alright. Well, thank you for sharing with the class, though. But yeah, I think she's got a very fun personality as well. Like, she is one. I did mention before that she said like she's an eat, sleep, repeat type of person. She's very true to her desires in that sense, because one of the kind of lore lines that you get of her as you kind of increase her experience is that basically her favorite foods are honey and fish. And if you offered her a compensation package, if you offered to pay her in just that, she might actually mull it over. Like, she'd be like, which I find very charming. Yeah. She also gaslights you into thinking that if you, like, talk to her, she also gaslights you into thinking you didn't pay for her meal last time you guys went to a restaurant. Which, again, kind of hilarious. She's like, alright, you're buying. What? You bought last time? Nah, I don't remember that. Yeah. Yeah. Also, some other fun facts. She got into a fight with bees and lost. She unashamedly admits to stealing fish from the kitchen. She's extremely social because she wants more people to fight. She kind of reminds me of Flint in that way. Yeah, Flint is also another character who has a very kind of boxing-centric kind of fighting style. But Flint is actually pretty usable in the game, unlike Beehunter. I know Indra is also a pugilist type, but I don't really know about her too much, other than she was in a rap music thing for Arknights called I don't remember what it was called, but it was really good actually. The thing about Arknights is that for some reason, the soundtrack, and this is a point towards it, not a point against it, for some reason the soundtrack for a lot of the events actually sounds like something that could be on like Spotify's top 10 playlists. Like Billboard Top 10's playlist. It reminds me a little bit of those music videos where League of Legends characters come in for some reason. I don't know how that trend started, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I know that it like maybe they thought like, oh, you'd get more money that way, but I don't know who kind of pitched that idea first. They're like, oh yeah, we got this pop music video. What can we do so it sells more or has more interaction? And they're like, oh, get these mobile game characters to sing it, and that guy immediately got a raise forever. Honestly, I actually quite like that happened. I feel like more like wires for mainstream and non-mainstream interests should be crossed more often. I want to see I want to see one of the Hololive girls commentating on the Super Bowl. League of Legends has some cool characters and lore. Shame about the game. Yeah, shame about the game. Listen, I tried to get into MOBAs. I tried, but it's just so annoying. Literally everything about it is annoying. The fact that you can't that your character moves slowly across the map is annoying. The fact that you have to worry about skills and like math and like have to have strategies is annoying. Everything about it is just really like I understand that some people like games where you use your head, but I feel like you're using your head way too much in those games. League has some top tier writers and artists. It's a shame about everything else. Yeah. I mean, Arcane apparently was a pretty big hit. I haven't seen it myself, but I know that it got super popular for a while. Probably still is pretty popular. I'm just not used to keeping up with that kind of stuff. One of the benefits of the locust-like media news cycle is that once something like it does mean that like stuff that you feel like should get attention doesn't get much time in the limelight, but it also means that stuff that you don't really care about very quickly gets pushed around, and pushed aside for the kind of new thing du jour. So it's a mixed blessing in that regard. I feel like these fingers are like way too long. I'm gonna shorten them up a little. Not to mention the games can last 30 to 50 minutes. For real? If you're losing, then you're gonna be losing for almost an hour. Sheesh. Got it. I think a lot of games, not a lot of games, but games specifically centered towards esports, like games that have a large esports following, tend to not be too fun. Like, I eventually came to respect my time and haven't touched League since 2018. That's fair. Again, very broad generalization I just made, but it's like, because a lot of people take it way too seriously, because it's got like this kind of professional aspect to it, people take it really seriously, and it's very difficult to enjoy it sometimes, especially when like a lot of people are like, oh, I want to be like the big league player. I want to be like the big guy, the big dude, the winner. Like, they take it really seriously, and I think that's especially prevalent in games. I mean, obviously it'll be more prevalent in games where there's like competitive elements, like MOBAs. Like, I'm just saying, it does kind of like happen sometimes for stuff like the Dark Souls series, though, for the Soulsborne series, where like if you don't have a character build that's like optimized, people will make fun of you for it. Min-maxing the fun out of the game. Yeah, exactly. I mean, some people get a kick out of that, though. Like some people like being able to like say, yeah, I know the game. Like, it's that element of mastery, I think, that drives a lot of people towards games like that. And if that's their kind of niche, then I think then I can respect that as well. But like, it does also mean that I'm not the type of person that they're looking to play the game. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then just kind of like this. Whoops, went a little too far there. Yeah. God, I know that some gacha games as well, like circling back to the topic of gacha games, I know some gacha games apparently have player versus player elements, and I feel like that must just be a living hell. God, I feel like I can't play games where like you have to check in on them like very regularly, like Clash of Clans, for example. I don't know too much about that, but I do know that like if you can get attacked by other players in that game. Like if you like leave your game idle, you'll get attacked, and you have to check on that game if you don't want to like lose progress or your buildings or whatever. It was the same thing with Tamagotchis. Like, you had to kind of be at attention. Like, obviously if you didn't feed it for a couple hours, it'd be fine, but I felt like I had to like I don't know how to put it. I'm a person who likes to put a lot of effort into stuff, or at least a non-zero amount of effort. It's very hard for me to not care about the things I do. It doesn't come naturally to me, or like, no, that's not the right way to put it, because everybody takes and cares about the things they do most of the time, but I'm not the kind of person that can, like, take it easy sometimes. I have a hard time not taking stuff seriously sometimes. I think that's the best way to put it. So, like, for example, if I'm raising a Tamagotchi, I'll feel like really bad if I'm not immediately at its beck and call, because, like, you know, I feel like I'm not taking care of it properly. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know. I get very easily pushed around by stuff that demands my time and attention. It's probably for the best that I got out of gacha games for that reason. I think less than me taking it easy, not being able to take it easy. It's more like I can't divest my attention very well. I can multitask to some extent, but like, if I'm in a conversation, I will be at attention in that conversation, and if I'm not at attention, I'll be focusing on something else. Oh, same here? Yeah. I don't know, maybe that's kind of a universal thing, and people have just managed to handle it well. I know I've definitely gotten better at it over the years. But, yeah, no, it's still something that doesn't really come natural to me. Okay, and the sleeve is going to kind of curve this way, and like this. Nice. Whoop. There we go. And then kind of like that. And then like that. And then like that. Okay, and then it's gonna have the hoodie kind of coming up back here. Yeah, something that surprised me at first glance, I thought the jacket she was wearing was a proper hoodie. I actually like the little symbol she's got there. It's like some kind of like. It reminds me of that of Cubone for some reason. But yeah, it surprised me that her jacket is actually a hoodie or something like that. For the longest time, I thought it was a leather jacket. I feel like she'd look good in one. I feel like it suits her character. More so than like a regular hoodie. Or a hooded jacket, as it were. What she's wearing is basically one of those like stadium jackets, but with a hood. Okay. Then like that. Okay, how's that look without the kind of what do you call? Alright, pretty good. We can paint this. We can start painting this in soon. But first, a couple things. Okay, we'll take care of this during the coloring process, but I want to flip the canvas real quick to make sure that it doesn't look too borked. I think it might be too wide. Yeah, one of the things that you have to keep in mind when you're freehand drawing is that you absolutely have to flip the canvas. You don't need to do it so much when you're doing with 3D models, because the models themselves actually take care of a lot of the symmetrical parts of it. Can we take a second to appreciate that even the reserve operators have drip? Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, no. Arknights is a game that absolutely oozes fashion sense. I respect it a lot in that regard. Oftentimes you go see a character design for like a game, and you're like, what were they thinking when they designed this person? But no, with Arknights, it's very clear what they go for. I'm pretty sure they must have like fashion designers on the team or something, right? Like they have to have some. This cannot be like, you know, without direction. Like there has to be like some way that all the characters look this good. Yeah, I don't play Arknights for the gacha or the cute girls or anything. I play it to help coordinate my outfits. I know the reserve operators are meant to be faceless goons, but I want to have a spin-off series detailing their misadventures. Same here, honestly. Like, I want to know what happens to. I want to know what kind of a nonsense Grand Power Ranger gets up to when we're not looking. Yeah. For some reason, I kept mistaking that 13 guy and Rangers for each other a lot. So so when everybody kept calling Rangers a grandpa, I was like, "What the guy called 13?" God. But yeah, for example, I know that a reserve operation team, I think it was A2 or something, the one that has Orchid and Midnight. And of course Spot, who I've also drawn before on stream, they do basically have a wacky sitcom adventures together. Also, yeah, you like these are also boxing boots, which is kind of a cool little detail. Her whole outfit is a little bit of like a cross between like a typical delinquent outfit. I'm seeing like smacks of like roller skate derby action as well. The reserve operator sniper has dog ears. Yeah, good old Cruz. I think that's Cruz at least. Or say reserve operator. Wait, are you talking about the one with on Midnight's team? Because that's also very funny. Yeah, she basically has a grenade launcher and is like, yeah, I'm not afraid to use this thing to get my way. Yeah. Oh shit, that's a link. Send it to me through Discord. Yeah, I have links disabled on chat. Apologies about that, but it's for security reasons. I think I better look at this thing. There is kind of like a. Oh, this guy. Oh, I kind of remember. I don't really remember seeing this guy, but I hang on. I'll bring him on screen real quick. This guy look. I like this guy. Yeah, he's very yeah. I remember one time that somebody on Tumblr made a small collection of Arknights operators without like tails and ears. He's just a faceless goon for Rhodes Island. Yeah, but like a lot of his design has so much personality in it. Like, for example, like you can tell that he's actually like a very modern young guy because he's got like these kind of more tightly cuffed pants, which is like very young guy-ish. He has the vibe of like somebody who plays paintball. But yeah, every character in Arknights just kind of oozes charm, really. I feel like I'm missing something here. I should probably flip it just in case. I sent you the reserve op, melee caster, and logistics. Alright, let me see. I like these guys too. Let me put them in one by one. Yeah. I think what's interesting as well is that they somewhat resemble the ones from Reunion as well. This guy has such a dinky little shield, though. Oh my god. At least I think that's a shield. It looks a little bit like a miniaturized riot shield. What's he got back there? Like a sword? Okay, yeah. I feel like these two guys, like, you can find these two dudes playing video games on the couch together at Rhodes Island Rec Room. Yeah. Yeah, Arknights just has really good character design in general. I really admire it for that reason. Some of the characters do kind of blend together for me. Like I know maybe it's like the characters are one specific designer. Some of their designs do blend together a little bit for me though. Okay, I think we're gonna do it like this. Okay. And kind of like that. I see. So it's more like this. Like that. Okay, no, so maybe it'd be more towards this side. There we go. An office-like show with those four. Yeah. I mean, you could make a sprite comic from that kind of scenario, I think. I feel like that would like the Arknights character sprites lend themselves very well to like just being copied and pasted and put into like random goofy scenarios. That's true for a lot of visual novels, though. But yeah, it is fun to like check on. Like I do like it in events when characters who seemingly don't have much of a connection to anything, get a little bit of a spotlight to them. Like for example, in that event where they kind of go to Galvial's homeland. I didn't really know much about Galvial, but she seems like a very interesting character. So I was happy to get to know more about like her background and what her personality is like, or like the Maria Neural ones. Actually, I like the Maria Neural ones the best because of the sick music that they have. Yeah, I don't know if you've listened to that part of the soundtrack, but basically the kind of backstory is that Platinum's whole family came from this culture where they treat nightclubs like soccer clubs, basically, and they have like major tournaments between the Knights clubs, and it's kind of all stylized after FIFA, and it's partly a commentary on just like how messed up the society is, because like they've turned like this profession that's supposed to be about like helping people and guarding people into like a kind of big show that's all about money. But at the same time, it has like a dubstep OST, which completely contrasts with the idea that these guys are supposed to be knights, which is again kind of the point. But it's a very good song. All the music, yeah. I am a big fan of the fashion in Arknights, but I am equally as big of a fan as of the music. Go. Okay, I think that's pretty good for just base lines. Gotta look out for anything else that bothers me though, just real quick. This might be able to, yeah, maybe like that. That might work. I like working with like the vector layers because a lot of the time it feels like I'm just kind of slightly course correcting. You know how they say, like, I think it was a famous marble sculptor that basically said that the way that he carves stuff out is that he doesn't, like, envision, like, he doesn't, the way he saw it was like there was already the finished product waiting inside the marble, and he just kind of had to liberate it. So, for example, if he was trying to carve an elephant out of marble, like, he would picture a tiny elephant kind of nestled in the marble, ready to be broken out of its shell, and that's kind of how he would visualize everything. I feel that's kind of similar to what I do. Like, I feel like I have a perfect, I have a perfect version of this in my mind, and every time I kind of correct a stroke like that, it's like trying to get it a little bit closer to that version. It's fun. I'm glad I discovered this mode. Yeah, I think this works a little better as well, because she has like those kind of like sharper eyelashes. I don't know how else to put it. Like, she's got like more. Her eyelashes are less round and more kind of pointed. Her eye shape. Yeah, it's got that shonen protagonist coded character design. Yeah, I feel like this is much, like, just that little bit and tweak to the eyelash made it more clear that, okay, yeah, she's a little mischievous. Kind of like that. There we go. Okay, I think she's ready for coloring now. So let's bump this back up to full opacity, shrink it down even further. Alright. I like messing around with like the 3D models, but I also like messing around with like the transformation tools and everything. I should drink some water. Okay, so she doesn't have like too tanned of a skin tone. It's kind of like closer to this. It's got a little bit of a yellow tint to it, is the thing. Any more saturated and lower opacity? Okay, I think that's about right. Okay, so then the brown hair. It's almost like a blondish brown, isn't it? No, not like that. Umber? Ochre. Getting warmer, getting a little warmer there. We're about the right shade. You know, like it's the right kind of like darkness to it, but there we go, that's the one. Actually, we could cover up this part of the neck here with an extra strand of hair. Let's do that. Perfect. And then... Okay, so like a very cool, like a very kind of intense magenta purple for the eyes. It's almost... No, it's more leaning towards like a bluish purple. A violet, I guess it would be. Okay, I've got like a pure white for the fringe there. Yeah, it is basically a pure white. But I guess it'd be better to lean it towards yellow so it fits in a little more with the hair. Okay, the tongue. And then I really like the shade of yellow she's got going on her sweatshirt. I really love bright yellows like that. See, I missed a spot here. And kind of a dark gray for the actual sweatshirt. We use the same color from the hair for the, what do you call, bindings? Yeah, fist bindings, fist straps. I forgot the word fist strap for a second there. Okay. And then for the knuckles, I think I forgot to give it the spikes, but that's fine. We can add a little bit more detail as we go along. Yeah, okay, so it is like this. Although it is more of kind of like an almost purple-ish red. Yeah, more like that than that kind of rust red that I was using just now. Kind of like that, and then right here. She's got Shadow the Hedgehog themed brass knuckles. Okay, and then kind of like this. And then we can just kind of warp the colors a little bit so it's a little closer to you know, my usual color scheme. There we go. Might not be a bad idea to transform the colors of the actual, like, lines as well. Maybe to this one here. Yeah, I feel like that's a much gentler color. It suits it well. Okay, and from there we can kind of go on in here. And we can start adding the kind of bee pattern to the whole thing. At times like this, it's very useful to have like a larger brush that you can just use for that kind of thing. I like to duplicate the G pen to make a Milli pen. Milli pen. Then just turn off literally everything that's related to the brush size. It's by no means a delicate tool, but it's very useful for stuff like this. Okay, so she's got about 3 of them on her collar, so that gives me a pretty good sense of like how many there should be. Maybe 2. Okay, then we can kind of switch to this. There we go. Hang on. Sometimes when you zoom out, if like there's been an error with the filling process, you can see like a kind of weird thing going on in between these lines, and I like to try to eliminate that as much as possible to make it like smooth. Wait, hang on. Does this have like a tolerance thing? Area scaling 0. Okay, it's no, so it should be fine. Ah, it's because of the anti-aliasing setting. That's the culprit. This is gonna be very interesting when we put it in the Shakeart version. I'm looking forward to seeing the final result. Okay. Okay, so that's on the top of the sleeve. Okay, so it kind of runs down the side of the sleeves, and ends up on the chest as well. Okay. I see. It's almost got like a dark. It's like a lighter color, but then it's also got like a darker color to it. That's interesting. We'll use that thicker G pen for this one. Come with that. Then we can use the alternate color to kind of sharpen it up in these corner sections. You can do the same for the other parts as well. It's kind of like a Guy Fieri type flame pattern, so it's not exactly difficult to do. Not like some of the other patterns on the other characters' clothing. Sometimes I get nightmares just thinking about how I'd have to translate that. Okay, right there. Right here. Shave off this part right here. And then use this other color right here. We'll do the same thing for this arm here. Does it actually reach all the way up to the sleeve? Okay, so it kind of comes from the sleeve. That, and then with this color here, right there, 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 and there. There we go. Perfect. Okay, and then we can add just a little bit of light shading to the whole thing. So that's going to be not too complicated, actually, because we can just kind of do a very sweeping shadow. Kind of like this. No, that doesn't really work, does it? No, that's not going to work at all. Oh, wait, maybe it will work like this instead. Yes, I think that's going to work. Okay, and then we'll work like go over from here. God, I will say though, like the shenanigans in the art, like circling back to the point about like a comedy show like with the reserve operators, or like some kind of like a slice of life in the Rhodes Island's office. These guys must see like the craziest shit on Earth, given how many weirdos are kind of just running around Rhodes Island. Like, it's one thing to have a coworker who, like, I don't know, does some stupid shit with a printer and jams it on accident. It's another thing if you've got like Blaze running around and just accidentally igniting stuff on fire. Because I don't know, maybe she thought it'd be funny. You know? I need to learn more about Blaze. I feel like I'd really like her character. I think her whole thing is that she can raise the temperature of certain things. Or just raise the temperature, period. Hence the name. Okay. Okay, right here too. And then the hair. I want to have slightly different shading for the bear ears. I feel like they'd have a slightly brighter color because it's like supposed to be like glossier. So maybe. Yeah, they're so yellow to the point of being almost green in tone. At least that's what it reads like to me. And then right here. Nah, it needs a slightly lighter color. There we go. That's quite a bit better, I think. I also see that I missed a tiny spot right here. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing over here. You can also make it so that the back part of the hair is slightly darker, like this. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good balance. Okay, and then we can finally work on the eyes and the head a little bit. I don't think we need to do anything in particularly special for like the face but except maybe the eyes. I think the eyes need a little bit of work and tune-up. Turning out great. Yeah, right? I'm actually really liking the kind of little chibi here. But we're not done just yet once we finish this. Okay, no, I think I gotta do the little like white part on the inside first, and then do like the purple shading around. Okay, I see how it is. I actually really like characters with eye designs like this, that they've got like a white iris. I think it makes them look very powerful. It's a nice subtle indication that like something is off about them without like being outright like, oh yeah, this dude's like a total freak. Okay. I might saturate it a little more as well. Not sure. Yeah, okay, so it kind of gets darker as it goes further up. Kind of like this. And just with like a scalpel-like touch, we gotta fix this part up here. Okay, I think maybe instead of having this bottom shine bit, you can have it just be like this. I think that'll work out a little bit better in terms of what we're going for. Nah. Nah. Okay, I think just leaving it like that might be the best choice. Okay, so we have the version right here, right, from Clip Studio Paint. I'm very happy with how this came out. Probably should have separated the shading into a different layer, but this is pretty good. But now the idea is that we're gonna kind of... I'm gonna export this, right? Do it as a PNG. Probably it should take out the paper so it's nice and transparent right there. Could probably like stuff it into a folder. Actually, there's a couple things before we can do before we head out from here, because, you know, I feel like this is going to be the finished product, so I should try to make, you know, refine it as much as possible before we head on out to do something else. So I'm going to do my usual thing of finding a gradient map that might complement this. So I'm thinking maybe the Sunset Gold one might be good. Or actually, maybe the regular sunset would also be really good. Okay, yeah. Yeah, this is really good. Yeah, I love these warmer colors. I think like... Yeah, I like cool tones in real life, but I love drawing with warmer tones like this. Alright, that's good. I'm satisfied with that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to export this. I'm going to keep it open on my side as a PNG. And what we're going to do is... And hang on while I try to wrangle the export functions on this thing. Yeah, 1400 by 1400 should be pretty good. I'm going to close up CSP there. And I am going to open up a program called Shakeart. Now, I had Shakeart recommended to me by a friend of mine. It's a very interesting program. It's a very unique program in that it kind of automatically produces, as the name implies, shaking art. So I'm going to find where is this? Window capture. Here we go. Now, again, this is an indie project, so it's not exactly 100% stable. Capture cursor. Yeah. Okay. Control F. It's kind of covering me up right now, but we can fix that up real quick. Yeah, just kind of shrink it to fit. Perfect. Or actually could use a little work still. Hang on. Okay, so... oh, I didn't know it had music. Let's not do that. Okay. Okay, so the basic idea behind Shakeart is that it is inspired by a kind of... I'll let you... It's faster to show you than to say what it does. So, as you can see, whenever I draw a line, it starts shaking potentially very violently, but usually just very calmly. I've had a couple of friends of mine... Hang on, intensity, speed... Yeah, so like if I reduce the speed of these, the width of these, and the intensity of these, they tend to like chill out a little more. But again, you can kind of like really make them go buck wild. But it's a very unique kind of art style, and I'm very excited to try and work with it. So what we're basically going to try and do is we're going to try and recreate the picture we just made with Shakeart. Which is why I wanted to try and get it right the first time. So yeah, very, very exciting stuff. I'm very excited. I always like working with like unique programs like this. So okay, so so first let's make a no. Hang on. Width. Oh, okay, so you can actually like... Okay, so this gives you like a preview of how intense it's gonna be. Speed. I am speed. Okay, interesting. So I think first things first, we gotta do a... Jeez, the width. Okay, so first things first, we gotta figure out a good kind of width for our line. I think less wide than that. Okay, I think that might be kind of a good width for us. Speed. Bring that up a little bit. Intensity a little bit too. Okay, that's kind of weird. Okay. Changes the width of the line to be drawn. Okay. The refresh speed. Okay, so, okay. Interesting. I don't want it to be jittering too much, so I think like maybe like this might be kind of the maximum amount. Yeah, okay. I think with that we kind of got a pretty good basis as well. Okay, so we'll start drawing this. Not useless at all, but I'll give it my best shot. I think starting with the outline is the best option. Okay, so maybe reducing the total intensity would be for the best. Yeah, it has like this weird tail here. I don't know how else to put it. Maybe it's because of what I do. No, that's not going to work either. Maybe it'll work better with a mouse. Record GIF. I say GIF almost out of habit, which is something that I don't like. Why are you standing on a stool? Alright, you got me. I'll friggin' get off the stool. Jeez. Alright, are you happy now? Are you happy that I have to reveal my low height? I had to reach over to the top shelf to get a Shakeart off of there. They put it behind a couple boxes of PSD, but Ricelet. Oh man. Okay, you got my ass good with that one. But yeah, I'm trying out Shakeart actually. Yeah, after Mielita recommended it, I figured I'd give it a shot as well with some fan art I made earlier. And it crashed. Huh. Well, Mama may have raised... I've created a monster. Well, Mama may have not raised a coward, but she definitely didn't raise a quitter. Wait, no. Okay, I'm trying to figure out, like... whatever. She raised something. Introduced Mielita to Shakeart, and now she's spreading it. Yeah. It's a fun program, is the thing. I'm having a lot... okay, actually I'm struggling quite a bit with it. But I'm also having fun. Alright. Okay, so I think the kind of thing to do is to kind of draw the general outline here. Nope. Okay. I'm still trying to get a handle on this thing. Okay, that seems pretty good, but... I figured my art style would translate pretty good to it since I like working with thick lines, but maybe I underestimated this thing. Okay. Content-aware scale Beehunter. Alright, hang on. Is that a shrimp? No, no. This one isn't a shrimp. She's supposed to be a bear. Oh, jeez. These are supposed to be hands holding a pair of brass knuckles. Also, she has 4 fingers now, I suppose. That's life, I guess. Nothing you can do about it. Okay. I don't know, maybe it's the canvas I'm working with. I'm having trouble with this. Beehunter from Arknights. Yeah, that's the character that I'm working with. Yeah, I'll show you I'll post the full fan art I did for soon, but okay. I'm gonna call that good enough. Alright. I think this is one of those things where it's gonna, like the whole is gonna be bigger than the sum of its parts. So I can't get too tripped up on what on like every little thing, I think. Okay. Perspective adds flavor. Yep. Yeah, it's the spiky hair that I think I'm having trouble with. Gotta be real gentle with it. Surgical, almost. I think it might also have to do with the way that I'm drawing the lines. I tend to draw fast strokes, but that tends to make the lines a little rougher. You can see that a little bit with the circle there, so I need to like really control my arm. But not too much, because otherwise there will be too many different connecting points and it'll just look like a mess. I could just use the line tool for this part, I think. Oh, god damn it. There it goes again. I should start saving more often. Hang on. Options of an initialize sleep margin user. Oh, hang on. Oh, you didn't download Shaky? I did download Shaky. Hang on. I think it might be using... Cállate. I think it might be used... Okay, so I opened up the .ini file and it said use x times 64 equals false. Now, what that speaks to me... What the hell? Why is it breaking? No. I think there is a reason why it's breaking. The reason why it's breaking is because I think what happened is that... because I looked at the .ini file that came with the download. It said use x64 equals false. So what that speaks to me is that it meant user is a 64-bit user is false. This computer is 64-bit, which isn't exactly powerful these days. I'm not sure why it's set default to false. I'm guessing just in case. But I think that might have something to do with it. Hopefully this will avoid it from breaking and resetting all my progress. Ah well, whatever happens, happens. If it turns out to be unviable, I still have a piece of art to show for it, so I'm not too mad. Yeah, this is about the right shade. Alright. we started off with the fist last time, so let's try and do the same thing there. Okay. Still, it is a little frustrating when your program gives up the ghost before you do. I'm supposed to be the one who's breaking down here, alright? Me! Okay, and then this is gonna kind of come in like this. You see, I'm going a little too slowly, and now it's making the jitters all kind of messed up and such. I can tone it down a little bit though. I think working with bigger with like all the canvas instead of focusing on a tiny part of it is also helping. All right. Don't you give up on me this time, Shakeart. Yeah, sometimes things are just not meant to be, you know. I can accept that, but I'd like to give it a couple more tries before completely disavowing it. It might also have something to do with my tablet settings. Well, it's a little bit of a mystery, but I'm sure we can overcome it with hard work. Okay, then over like this. Hang on, she had that weird kind of like little clasp here. It feels like I'm defusing a bomb. I'm not gonna lie, it does feel a little bit like that. I think the moving lines are also adding a little bit to the anxiety of the situation. Like, I'm not used to lines kind of wiggling like this. It's not like it's hurting my eyes, but it's unusual. Scrungly. Yeah. Yeah. I will say though, like... Okay, so far so good. This is where it gave up the ghost last time, so don't do that, okay? Okay, no, that's not right. This ear needs to be just a bit lower. Okay. No, her head's a little too flat like this. There we go. Somehow she doesn't resemble the character anymore as well. I don't know. Maybe that feeling will go away as we keep going forward. Nah. Maybe this like this, and then maybe have it like this. I feel like I'm gonna regret this decision. To not make it like part of the background color and instead make it part of the thing. I think it was the 64-bit thing. Though I think I hit the nail on the head with the problem solving. Okay. I think from here on out it's going to be using the background layer thing. I'm going to shift gears a little. Okay, width, increase. Yeah, that's another thing. Oh man, I hope there's a way to change the color of the lines. If not, I might have accidentally really messed up. Well, whatever happens, happens. It's my first time using the program, after all. I can't get too upset about any mistakes. I feel like this really does suit her pretty well, like this kind of shaky art style, though. I feel like because she's a very animated character in the game, I feel like it kind of suits her very naturally. Okay, go back. Oh wait, there's a line fill tool. Didn't mean to do that. Oh, that's not good. Paste the current line attributes onto a selected line. Oh, can also paste to the background color. Hang on, I got an idea here. Today I am a genius. Alright, this is how we do it. She drank 50 energy drinks. Big Bob won't know what hit him. I feel like I don't remember if Big Bob was particularly armored. Depending on whether or not he was, she might actually be a really poor matchup for him any day of the week, even with the power of 50 energy drinks in her body. Wait. Oh crap. I didn't make this part of the background. Okay, so background line. Here we go. There we go. That's much better. Yeah, not to undersell Beehunter's skills, but I feel like Big Bob could definitely, like, she just keep punching him and it just keep making like a clunk sound. But yeah, if Big Bob isn't particularly well armored, then I think she has a shot. Okay. Whoops! Don't do that. Wait, what did I just... fellas? Drake? Where did the line go? Alright, hang on, I can fix this. I got this. I know how to fix this. Big Bob gets decimated by a cat girl with Freddy Krueger claws. I think B might have a chance. The cat girl with Freddy Krueger claws. Oh wait, is that a Phantom? I think it might be Phantom. I don't remember a lot of the operators. There's a lot of operators, so I don't remember every single one of them. Okay, I do think I remember the cat girl though. Mouse. Okay, I definitely don't remember Mouse. I think she was Phantom of the Opera themed. I just don't remember that her name was Mouse. Okay. Then Moose. Oh, right. Okay, I think I might remember Moose. Okay. And then for the hair, we'll go for a much darker kind of yellow. Increase the width so we can really block it out. I'm so scared it's gonna crash one of these moments. I got an idea for what to do with it. Okay, I have an idea for how to do the hair, but it's gonna take some doing. Man, when I was in art class, something that I really failed to get the grasp of was that you're not supposed to color like in lines like this. You're supposed to do it like this, and it's because otherwise there's going to be like a very obvious kind of direction from where you were coloring. It's going to be a little problematic, basically. Not right. Okay, can I pick the background color somehow? Oh, the selected line. Crap, okay. I guess we're gonna have to figure this out ourselves then. Unless... Okay. Hang on, I think I'm back to being a genius right now. I mean, to be fair to Big Bob, you know, going back to and circling back to that topic, to be fair to Beehunter, if she were to fight against Big Bob also basically got owned by CB, just absolutely eating every single mushroom on his farm. So you know, there's Big Bob has a track record for not exactly coming out on top. Okay, so from there. Keep going right here. Actually, no, we want this color from around... Hang on. What the... Big Bobby is a silly little fella in an EOD suit and a chainsaw. He's having fun. That's true. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that. Oh, god damn it. What did I... I think I might be punching out of my weight class here, gang. Oh well. Can't get too caught up in this. Oh, there it goes. I'd wondered what happened. Actually, maybe the secret to making this look more like her is to kind of increase the line width in a couple of these parts. I don't know. Would that help? I can't be half-assed about it as a thing. Otherwise it's just gonna look worse. Okay. Nope. Forgot to make it part of the background color. I think a better choice than to do what I was doing earlier is just kind of take the L and just switch to a smaller brush. I think that might be the best course of action. Okay, and then we go here and reduce that by a bit. go like this. Perfect, perfect, perfect. But yeah, how's y'all Sunday been going? I'm having a pretty good one. Very low key. It's important to have ones like that after if like things have gotten big, if things have gotten hectic. All right. How come? Crap. Went out of line again. There we go, and then like that. Like that. I did get a few of the images needed for the tier list. Oh, hey, that's great! Okay, and then we reduce this, and then we can start this part right. What the? Okay, there it is. There are so many. Well, yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, when you're dealing with history, with series that have history almost 50 years old, that I know of. I think Gundam was made in like the 80s, 70s, right? Can't have been much earlier than that. I don't imagine. I might be naive though. I'm a little naive when it comes to Mecha. 1979. Okay, so let's round that up to like 1980 for the sake of my single brain cell. So that is, what, 40 years of history, almost. No, a little over 40 years of history. Yeah, there's going to be quite a bit of it, quite a bit of media for it. Okay. That's weird. Shouldn't they like that over here? Maybe like that. That's too dramatic of a change. Hang on. That might be a little better. Today has just been okay. Then here as well. Nah. Maybe back here though, that'll probably help. Nah, there's something I'm missing here. Okay, like that might be just a little bit less and a little to the left. Nope. Yeah, like that. Okay, yeah, I think that works as a kind of shade. Okay. And then back here too. Okay, and then the skin tone was kind of like around this range, I think. Being very careful. Actually, I can cover the tongue as well. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. It's fine if it's a little messy. I think that adds to the charm of the style. Okay, and then like that. Nah, it leans more towards the pink, I think. Okay. And then And from there we can make this slightly redder to make the top of the brass knuckles. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I feel like it's missing something though. I should recolor the lines on top. I feel like that what do you call? This kind of bluish, it doesn't really suit the whole thing. Like maybe it should be like a darker purple. Whoops. Didn't need to do that. Come on, where is it? No, that's not quite right either. Oh, I see. Wait, I'm actually missing kind of bits and pieces here and there. Aren't I? Don't know how that happened. I swear I had that part filled in just a moment ago. I think I haven't made enough of a distinction with the ears, though. I think that might be what's bothering me a little. Yeah, I think like I don't understand the language of this program just quite yet. Oops. Yeah, I think I don't understand the rules of what do you call this program just yet. I think that might be my problem here. Okay, yeah, just lighten up the ears a little bit. And I think the other thing that I could do is lower the part of this, and then increase the total. Ooh, careful, careful, careful. When I really bump up the intensity, she looks like one of those melted character popsicles. It feels bad. That seems like a good amount of shaking. It's like barely noticeable, but it's still there. What was I gonna do? I feel like I was gonna do one last thing. Oh, right. Hang on. Okay, I see. Not quite right. There we go. You ever get that feeling of wanting to do a bunch of stuff and then you just end up doing nothing? Yeah. It's like... Yeah, no, I totally getcha. Yeah, that's always a rough kind of feeling to have. It's like you had this entire day to get stuff done, but like somehow you didn't manage to do anything with it. It's not a great feeling. Yeah, maybe like color like this would be good for the darker parts. Nope. But yeah, that feeling sucks, dude. I'm sorry that you feel that. I'm sorry your day went like that. Really is, and then tomorrow I start another day of work. Ugh. Yeah, at least I got the mercy of having a long weekend. Jeez. Well, I don't know. I feel like even if you have stuff left to do, the fact that you yeah, there's really no way to like, I don't know how to put it, like, there's really no way to like console yourself after a day like that, because like even if you didn't, like, it's not just that like you didn't get much done, it's that you also like didn't even get the rest because of that. Like you had your indecisions, and like that kind of kept you from resting. Yeah, that's just really bad. I'm sorry you had to go through that, man. Speaking from my own experience, of course. Yeah, didn't do anything, not even played video games. Ugh. Poor guy. Oh, hang on. I almost had it. There we go. And then this one here. But yeah, no. It's important to make the best of your time, but like the thing is, right? You basically went trawling through a bunch of pictures for preparing for the tier list. Like, even though it doesn't feel like it takes much effort, that does still take up time, and like there is just that kind of depth to go through. So I think because of that, you did put in a lot of work, but because like maybe it's such a slow process, it doesn't feel like you did, which also sucks. Yeah, no, there's no winning with that kind of thing. And back here. There we go. I think we actually. I think this is about ready to record. What happens if I press save? No? Okay. 1 second gift of the current canvas. Okay. Beehunter.gif. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with how this came out. Yeah, I think that's basically all we had scheduled for the stream right now. So yeah, my verdict on Shakeart: good when it doesn't crash. Today was just a mad day. Could have been worse, and besides, there's always tomorrow. Plus, I got to find out about Beehunter today. That's true. Finding out about Beehunter is always a plus. But yeah, I actually quite like Shakeart. I might use it more in the future to do like these kind of chibi drawings. I'll definitely try to get a better handle of it in the meantime. But I think me and Shakeart have come to a kind of tense but mutually understood agreement on how this is gonna go. Okay, let's exit out of that and we'll go back to the just chatting screen. Oh dear, I seem to have fallen out of my desk again. This happens every single day, I tell ya. I gotta get myself one of those Beehunter, my beloved. Yeah, brawler type units, subclass units, my beloved. Yeah, I feel pretty good about the progress we've made today. I definitely like how the Shakeart stuff came out. Although, next time I have to be a little bit more careful about how it goes. Is anybody streaming right now? Nobody that I really know of. If anybody has anybody that they want to raid or anything, we can go say hi. Not sure if anybody else is streaming. No, I don't. I need to follow more people so I can rate them once stream ends, because sometimes these streams end up earlier or end up later. Everybody has different schedules. I feel it's important to get people to know like that. But if nobody has any suggestions, then yeah, I think we'll call it a night here. All right. I'll be publishing a schedule for next week later today. That shouldn't take too long to make after this. And yeah, I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Very foggy out here today, very fun looking, so I might actually take a little afternoon walk. Or actually, it's quite late for me now, so maybe an evening walk. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed your weekends. I hope the day goes better for you if it hasn't been going well already. And yeah, I'll see you all later. Bye.